Guys, welcome back to FTC, the weekly-ish roundup of things I found cool in the week. First up, we've got Pickettware. This is Pickettware, and so is this, and this. It was designed in England in 1947 in a factory that used to make parts for aircraft during the Second World War. It's made of an aluminium alloy called magnalinium. It's made of an aluminium alloy with an unpronounceable name, so that means it must be cool. It's actually my dear old mum who got me this set. I think she got it mostly so I didn't steal hers. Now, it seems that Picquot has got quite a history, quite a range, which probably means this is going to end up in quite an expensive hobby. And you see, this is all Dan's fault. Sure, I mean, I knew about the range, I knew about the collection, and I really liked the designs, of course. I mean, if I was going to steal it from my mum, I'll put this down now. If I was going to steal it from my mum, I must have liked it. But see, Dan saw that it was in the background of one of my videos and reached out and was just like, hey, another Picquot fan. I'm like, oh yeah, cool. And then he started sending me photos of his collection. I'm barely scratching the surface with these 5 pieces. Best thing is, it seems like back in the day they were pretty readily available, which means that you can actually have some lucky finds these days in antique shops or car boot sales. I mean, when I was doing the research for this video, I heard stories about people finding it in an antique shop in Nova Scotia, or Dan, he found most of his pieces in second-hand stores or car boot sales, so maybe you're lucky. I mean, it'd be a pretty fun find, right? I'm pretty dubious about finding it in Berlin, but you never know. Next up, I've got a date for you to put in your calendars. Earth Hour. Earth Hour is on the 27th of March at 8:30, your local time. And all you have to do at 8:30 is just turn off your lights. Okay, this whole sinister backlit thing isn't working for me. 1 second. Earth Hour was started back in 2007 by the WWF. That's the pandas, not the wrestlers. But it was started in 2007 to raise awareness for environmental issues, and it's been going on ever since. There's a whole host of things you can do to take part, but I mean, at the very least, you can turn off your lights for an hour. You can still even watch TV, but anyway, don't be that boring. Turn off your lights, do something fun, make an event out of it. Take a picture, post it on social media with the hashtag Earth Hour, and you can keep a lookout for ours as well. It was my girlfriend who got me into this. She works for the WWF, so it's kind of part of her job, which means it's now kind of my job, and I love my job. And now I'm passing the baton to all of you guys out there. Third up, I've got something for you to listen to. Something that I think actually you should listen to. Maybe you can even listen to it during Earth Hour. It's the Vir Vulnerabilis Vir Podcast. So that is a vulnerable man in Latin, and I know I think I murdered the pronunciation in both Latin and English there, but anyway, let's just roll with it. This podcast is dedicated to fostering community, to building empathy between men. This is something I came across on Instagram, and it stands a testament to the importance of community, even if it is virtual community. You see, I got chatting to one of the co-founders, Albert. I think we were just chatting about Red Wing boots or something. It was off a post I did about Pecco's. We got chatting, and at some point he mentioned that he was running this podcast, and I was like, okay, definitely have to have a listen to that. Now, yeah, I wasn't really too sure what to expect. I mean, I'm not a massive podcast fan, but as soon as I searched for it, it's up on Spotify, there's a link down below. So I searched for it, and then I started seeing names that I recognized, guys that I know, or guys that I've followed for a very long time. And so I started listening, and I was really so super surprised and super happy to hear the conversations that were being had. They were talking to these people about subjects that men kind of shy away from, and especially in this heritage world where there's a certain kind of masculinity that can be seen as, or I've experienced as definitely a toxic masculinity. To have that conversation in the way that Albert and his co-host Adam, the way they navigate around this and the way that they present their connection they've got together, I think they're very good friends, and you can tell this, and the connection that they've got with the people on their shows as well. The way they talk about their lives, about their life philosophy, about the struggles they've had, it's just, it's very humanizing, and I think it is an important conversation to be had, and I think it's an important conversation that not enough of us men do have. It is just very, very good listening, and very important listening, I think, for a lot of us. It definitely deserves the FTC title, and really, I can't recommend it enough. Yeah, I had to turn the lights on, it was just getting a bit dark. Okay, last but not least, we've got a piece of furniture, the ISHINOMAKI Stool. This small, simple wooden stool, it was designed in collaboration with Herman Miller by the ISHINOMAKI Lab. This is a community workshop that was set up by designers in the wake of the 2011 tsunami that hit Japan. The designers looked at what was missing in the temporary housing that was put up directly after the disaster. And they found that something as simple as a stool was really missing from the day-to-day objects that we need around the home. I mean, like something as simple as just sitting down to put on your shoes or having something to stand on to reach a high shelf. These are things that we take for granted. But when all of that is suddenly taken away, then we can see in a very stark manner that these things are essential. And that's when good design can just step in to offer us solutions. And if the history of good design teaches us anything, the best solutions, the most elegant solutions tend to be the simplest. And that is exactly what we have with this stool. It is just perfectly suited for purpose. It's so simple to make that I think anybody with even a rudimentary knowledge of woodwork could have a go at making one of these. And yeah, from materials that are not too hard to get hold of. The basic form of the stool, the basic design principles, I guess you'd call it, they've been rolled out into a number of other products that each share a very similar aesthetic and a very similar design philosophy behind them. Now, the stool itself and the consequent products and the whole story behind it is definitely worthy of the FTC moniker. But what's even cooler than this is that all of these designs and the plans for them, they're all available for free download. Just head over to the ISHINOMAKI Lab website and yeah, all of the 3D files there in multiple formats are available just to grab, to download. And as I said before, these are super simple designs. I mean, as soon as the community workshops here in Berlin open up, yeah, I'm going to get some wood, I'm going to head along and I'm going to have a go at building one of these. So you know it must be simple if I'm going to have a go at it. I mean, technically you don't need all of your fingers, right? I mean, 8 or 9 will do. So there we go, 4 things that I think were worthy of the utterance, like, look, that's cool. And yeah, tune in at some undefined future moment for episode 4. And so that just leaves me to say, I hope everyone's happy and healthy out there. Hope you're taking care of yourselves. I hope you're taking care of each other. And I'm going to see you in the next FTC.